Hello and welcome to a Hearts of Iron 4 basic tutorial. I'm basically going to go through most of the UI, all the basics. I'm not going to go into depth on most of the things. Okay, so the first thing you're going to look at is this top notification area. These are things that will be popping up throughout the game. These are things you're going to have to do. So I'll go from left, research slot, click on that. It brings up this little page right here. Click on research. You got all of these. You got infantry, support, armor, artillery, naval, air, engineering, industry. For the start of the game, I'd recommend doing basic machine tools, construction, and then electronic mechanical engineering. Okay, so the next thing you want to look at is the construction tab for civilian factories. The most important thing you want to do for now is build civilian factories. I'd recommend just building, depending on what country you have, just build like 20% or 30% of your max capability of civilian factories. Then after that, you're going to go to military factories. Tapping it once builds one, shift clicking builds all of them you can in that state. Okay, dockyards are something that it's navy, which does not really matter right now. So really what you just want to do, build convoys, just spam convoys. National focus, that's something you want to do. It's the most important thing in the game pretty much. There's a lot of stuff and it's different for each country, so there's no point in really going in depth. Basically just click on what you want to do and then hit start. No divisions in basic training, that just means you're not training any troops. For big countries, you see here, I have a lot of supply, so you can afford to train. So just hit train infantry for starters, add a couple, maybe two at a time, and then select like your capital pretty much, wherever you want the troops to be deployed, and then I'll start doing that automatically. Next thing you want to do is unassigned divisions. This is probably the most important one. What you can do is click to select one, or per usual, shift click to select all. And then down here in the bottom, you have your army and army group. Army is going to be the smaller one, army group is going to be the big one. Click on the army for now. That'll make one army. Armies, when assigned to a general like this, by clicking on the portrait in the top left, they can only hold 24 divisions at a time. So what you want to do, just typically you want to get all of your infantry in one army like this. It's all infantry in the top left. You can see that right here. And then move all your other troops like motorized, mechanized, tanks to another one. That can be your offensive army. And then click one army, and then shift click the other army, and then just left click the army group. That'll combine both your armies into a single army group. That basically just gives it some buffs, makes it towards easier control. You can click this to select all, or you can click this to select the offensive, and these guys to select defensive. Insufficient resources, that does matter, but for right now, it doesn't really matter. Basically what you do, you don't have enough resources, so you can trade. Click on the thing you need to trade. I need rubber, so I can trade with the Dutch East Indies. The only thing is you're trading a civilian factory for those, so it's kind of a win-lose with that. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is production. In the top left here, you have all your tabs up here. The gear and wrench, that's your production. You want to click on that. This has sea, air, and land production. Basically what you want to do, you have a certain number of military factories. I have 28. I'm only using 20. So you want to, basically the things you want to be focusing on, artillery, support equipment, and infantry equipment. You want to have your most on infantry equipment, and then split it half and half for artillery and support equipment for now. Eventually you can get tanks and planes and boats, but for just the simpleness, support equipment, artillery, and infantry equipment. That's all you need. Logistics is not something super important right now, but to get basic gist, you can click on this button up here, logistics, which is the pen and pad. You click on that, it shows you each piece of equipment, how much you have, and how much you're gaining or losing per day. You want to look at this because if you're in the negative of infantry equipment, you're going to want to stop deploying troops so you can have your factories give the guns to your actual troops rather than training troops. One thing you do want to worry about, if you stack a bunch of troops on a single tile, you see that it's yellow now. If you stack a bunch of troops on a single tile, that's going to really hurt your supply. So when you're fighting a war, make sure not to overstack, because if you overstack like this, it's going to hurt your supply, which is going to hurt all your troops' ability to fight. So do not stack a bunch of troops on a single tile. That's really bad. Okay, so the next thing that's not super important, but just touching on it, is your officer corps. It's the hat in the top left. Click on that. It brings up this. Most of it doesn't really matter right now. Basically, Chief of Army is one of the first things you want to get, because it's going to give you a big boost, like 10% attacks or something like that. But what it's really important at is it gives you army experience, which you see up here. This is your army experience right here. You use that to get doctrines. So for the doctrines, you click on this button right here. It's the little square. Click on that, and you can choose which doctrine you want. If you want only infantry, go mass assault. If you want defense, go grand battle plan. If you want all-out offense, go superior firepower. if you want like mass blitzkrieg speed, go mobile warfare. Okay, now for your political overview, in the top left, click that flag. You click on that, it'll bring up this whole page. You'll have your leader, you can hover over him to see what kind of buffs you get. Your national spirits, you can hover over those to see what buffs you get and debuffs. You have your national focus right here. You'll have your conscription, which tells you how much manpower you have. For big countries like Germany, it doesn't really matter, just keep it a limited conscription because you don't have any debuffs with that. Your manpower is up here in the top left. If that gets to 0, it's going to start really hurting your capability to fight, so make sure you keep this as high as you can. Economy law, this is really important. Keep it as high as possible, except for total mobilization. War economy is the best one you can have. The higher it is, the more factories you have that are going to be working towards building stuff, and the faster things are going to be built. The next thing, you have 3 political advisors. Click on these. There's a lot of them. Again, they're different for each country. Just look through these. You can see what kind of things they have, and you can assign 3 to your country at a time. Military high command. It's basically the same thing with the advisors, but for your military. You can get things like better army attack, better armor, speed, better naval bombing, stuff like that. Okay, now I'm going to go over how to organize an attack. Basically, you're going to right-click the country you want to attack, hit justify a war goal. It does not matter what piece you select. You want to send that. It's going to take a certain number of time before you can actually go to war with them. In the meantime, you're going to organize your army. Basically, get your main attacking force, so your infantry. You're going to left click front line, and then you're going to basically, you can either left click to select the entire border, or you can right click like this and select how much of the border you want to control. You click on that, and then infantry is going to spread out along that border, which is really good because if you have an opening in your border, the enemy troops can just walk around through country freely. So you don't want to do that. And then after that, you're going to hit an offensive line, and you basically, it doesn't really matter where you put it. Basically, just put it where you want your troops to go. So if you just put it on a line right here, when you go to war, your troops are just going to steamroll right through until they hit this point, and then they're going to stop. And then what you're also going to want to do is get your offensive troops, hit front line again, and right click to hold where you want to put them. Put them on a small piece of land. And then instead of doing an offensive line, you're going to want to do a spearhead. And just basically spearhead right to their capital. It's like the simplest way to do it. So your infantry is going to be slowly pushing their entire border back, while your special forces are going to just blitzkrieg straight through to their capital, punching a hole in their defenses. And then what you want to do, once you declare war, I'll pause it real quick. You're going to declare war. Now you're at war with them. You'll see it's red, you're at war with them. And then you want to click these arrows down here to activate your offenses. You can see the arrows are now moving. And what you can also do is you can do a force attack for your special forces. You can see what that does there. It basically gives them more damage, but they also take more damage. So it's basically just force attacks, punches through their lines faster. And when you let go, I don't know what that is. Yeah, you see now the troops are pushing through, and you see also those areas that didn't have protected are immediately being taken by the Polish, while my troops that are attacking, you see they're steamrolling straight to Warsaw. So my troops are doing really well taking Warsaw, and my infantry as well are pushing back pretty well. What you can also do is micromanage them. So you can either select one at a time, shift click to add more, or you can just hold left click like this, select all of them, and right click where you want them to go. So you can just tell them all to go straight into Warsaw. It's not exactly the best idea, but out of desperation, if you want to do that, you can. So now you see I took Warsaw. It's now under my control. Their capital is going to move to one of the next highest cities. So then you're just going to go take that after that. What you also want to note is when you're attacking, it's good to hit F4 to go into your supply tab. You want to target these supply hubs, because if you take them, it's going to give you more supply and give them less supply. Okay, now see, I have won the war. What you want to do here is in the top left, you can hit take state to annex it. This basically just gives it to myself. Just do it like that, or you can just do this and hit select all, something like that. And it's going to annex those states. Now you see they're my color. Or you can puppet them. So you see it's German Poland now. They're a part of my faction, and I own them. I can make them do whatever I want. I can tell them to go to war. I can steal troops from them. I can give them troops. So now you see up here the notification tab has changed. Doctrines available. Once you hit 100 experience, you can do that. And then you have this is the air doctrine. You just want to click on this and then unlock. For air doctrine, only do battlefield support. It's basically the only good one. Some other things you can do with your army. Whenever they're not fighting a war, make sure to shift click this training button. It's gonna actually they're all max trained. If you shift click this training button, you see right here, this cavalry division is not fully trained, but when I click on that, it's gonna start exercising, and now it's trained. Somehow the Swedish naval invaded me, so you want to make sure to guard your coast. in order to guard your coast, you're going to click on this guy. What's really important is this, area defense. You're going to click on this. The most important thing to do is guard naval bases, because that's usually where they'll attack. And then you want to click on your coast. And what this is going to do, when I unpause, my troops, now you see instead of 24 max, it's 72 max. You can have 72 divisions in a single army that's on defending. So what they're going to do, they're just going to go to whatever you have selected. So I have port selected. So they're just going to go and sit on these ports and guard them. And if someone takes those ports, they're going to fight back to take those ports back. See this? They're defending the area. This is really good. You should always have some troops guarding your coast in case a naval invasion happens. Delete order, you're going to hit delete order. Right click that and deletes the army's entire order. So now they're not going to sit there anymore. Another thing you can do up here when you're at war, you see this, we are at war. You click on that and it basically tells you how many casualties you took, how many casualties they took, your strength, their estimated strength, who has the most war score. Whoever has the most war score can get the most stuff. So that's really important to look at this, and it kind of just gives you a good overview of the war.